everyone, and welcome back to Speak Beautiful English channel, your favorite podcast for learning real, useful, everyday English. I'm Emma.
And I'm Oliver. And Emma, I have something to confess.
Oh no. Oliver, what did you do this time?
Okay, so, I went hiking in Japan last month, Mount Kurama near Kyoto?
Yes. You sent me so many photos. It looked absolutely beautiful.
It was beautiful. The forest, the temples, the autumn leaves. But then, on the way back down the mountain, I completely missed a step on the trail and crack. I twisted my ankle.
Oh, Oliver, that must have been so painful.
It was agony. My ankle swelled up like a balloon. I couldn't walk. And the worst part? I was alone. I was in a foreign country, and I had to go to the emergency room, in English.
And how did that go?
Well, let's just say it was a very educational experience.
Huh. Well, that is exactly why we are here today. Because this kind of accident, a sudden injury while traveling, can happen to absolutely anyone. And today we are going to make sure that you, our listeners, are prepared. We'll learn 5 essential English phrases for when you have an accident and need to go to the emergency room.
Yes, because when you're in pain and scared, the last thing you want to do is search for words in your head.
Exactly. So let's start right from the moment the accident happened, Oliver. What did you do first? You were alone on the mountain trail with a swollen ankle. What happened?
Okay, so first I just sat down on a rock and tried not to cry. Very brave, I know.
Very brave indeed.
Then another hiker, a lovely older Japanese woman, came past and saw me on the ground. She looked very worried and said something to me in Japanese. And I said, I hurt my ankle.
Perfect. That is actually our first key phrase. I hurt my...
Oh, I got it right without knowing.
You did. I hurt my... is one of the most useful phrases in a medical emergency. You simply complete the sentence with the body part. I hurt my ankle. I hurt my back. I hurt my wrist. It's simple. It's clear. And everyone will understand immediately.
Even in a panic?
Even in a panic. 3 words and 1 body part. You can do that, no matter how scared you are. And a small but important note. Hurt here is used as a verb, meaning you injured something. So I hurt my ankle is different from my ankle hurts, which means it is painful right now. Both are useful, but I hurt my describes the injury happening.
Oh, that's a good distinction. So if someone falls, first I'd say I hurt my knee. And then later at the doctor I might say, my knee hurts.
Exactly. You're a natural, Oliver.
Don't tell my old English teacher that. She didn't believe in me at all.
Huh. So what happened after the hiker found you?
She called someone, and eventually a park ranger came with a small vehicle and drove me to the nearest clinic. And at the clinic, this is where it got complicated for me. The nurse at the reception desk asked me a question, and I completely froze.
What did she ask?
She said, "Can you describe what happened?"
And?
And I said, I fall?
Oh, Oliver, I fall is present tense, like something happening right now.
I know. I meant to say I fell, past tense, but my brain just short-circuited.
That is such a common mistake, especially under stress. So our second key phrase is the correct way to report an accident. I fell and, or more completely, I was doing the activity and I fell.
Can you give some examples?
Of course. I was hiking and I fell. I was running and I fell. I was walking down the stairs and I fell. The structure is, I was doing something, past continuous, and then I fell. Simple past. This tells the doctor exactly what you were doing when the accident happened, which is very helpful for them to understand the injury.
So it gives context.
Exactly. Context is everything in medicine. A fall from hiking is very different from a fall from a bicycle, right? Different speeds, different surfaces, different possible injuries.
That makes so much sense. Okay, so I was hiking and I fell. Then the nurse asked me about my pain. And this is where I surprised myself, because I actually described my pain quite well.
Oh, really? What did you say?
I said, it's swollen and it really hurts when I try to walk.
Oliver, that is excellent. You used 2 key descriptions. It's swollen and it hurts when I...
Wait, is it hurts when I... one of our 5 phrases?
It is indeed. That is our 3rd phrase. It hurts when I... followed by the action that causes pain. This is incredibly useful because it helps the doctor identify the exact nature of the injury.
So, it hurts when I walk. It hurts when I bend my knee. It hurts when I lift my arm.
Perfect examples. And you can also say, I can't put weight on it, or I can't move it without pain. These phrases tell the doctor not just where it hurts, but what is limited, which helps them decide whether it might be a sprain, a fracture, or something else.
A fracture. That means a broken bone, right?
Right. A fracture is the medical word for a broken bone. I think I may have fractured my ankle sounds more precise than I think my ankle is broken, though both are understood. In a medical setting, fracture is the preferred term.
Good to know. So, after describing my symptoms, the nurse took me to see the doctor. And the doctor, he was very thorough. He pressed different parts of my ankle and asked, "Does this hurt? Does this hurt?" And then he said he wanted to do an X-ray.
An X-ray? Yes, an X-ray is a type of medical scan that shows the bones inside your body. The doctor wanted to check if any bones were broken.
And the good news, nothing was broken. It was just a sprain.
A sprain? Yes. A sprain means the ligaments around a joint have been stretched or torn. It's not a broken bone, but it can be extremely painful and sometimes takes longer to heal than a fracture.
That's what the doctor told me. He said sprains can be tricky. But then, here's where I hit a wall again. The doctor started explaining my treatment, and he used so many medical words so fast. He said something about rice protocol and anti-inflammatory medication, and I just nodded along, pretending I understood.
Oliver, you should never pretend to understand your own medical instructions.
I know, but I was embarrassed.
This brings us to our fourth key phrase, and it might be the most important one of all. Could you please slow down? I'm not a native English speaker.
Oh, that's so honest and simple.
It is, and it is so important. You have every right to say this. Doctors and nurses deal with international patients all the time, especially in tourist areas. And a good medical professional will always be happy to slow down and repeat themselves. You can also say, "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you say it again more slowly?" Or even, "Could you write that down for me?"
Could you write that down for me? That's brilliant. Because then I have it on paper to look up later?
Exactly. And this is not rude. This is not a sign of low intelligence. This is smart communication. Your health depends on you understanding your treatment correctly.
I really wish I had said that. Because I left the clinic with my bandaged ankle and a bag of medicine, and I had no idea how to take it.
Oh no, what did you do?
I called my friend back home and described the pills to her over video call. It was very chaotic.
Well, let's make sure no one else has to do that. When the doctor or pharmacist gives you medicine, you need to ask, how often should I take this? And should I take this with food? But our fifth key phrase, and this covers everything, is, what are the side effects?
What are the side effects? Ooh, that sounds very professional.
It does, and it is. Side effects are the unwanted or unexpected effects of a medicine. For example, some painkillers make you drowsy, meaning sleepy. Some can upset your stomach. Knowing the side effects means you won't be confused or scared if something unusual happens while you're taking the medicine.
So I should always ask, what are the side effects before leaving the pharmacy?
Always. And you can also ask, is it okay to take this with other medications? Because some medicines cannot be taken together. This is called a drug interaction, and it can be dangerous.
Wow. I learned so much from this ankle, Emma.
The ankle was a great teacher. All right, shall we do a role play? Let's go through a full emergency room visit together.
Yes, I'll be the patient, which I'm very good at. You be the doctor.
Come in, please. Have a seat. What seems to be the problem?
Hello, doctor. I hurt my ankle. I was hiking this morning and I fell on the trail.
I see. When did this happen?
About 2 hours ago. It's very swollen and it hurts when I try to walk.
Can you point to exactly where the pain is?
It's here, on the outside of my ankle. It hurts when I press it too.
Okay, I'm going to gently feel around the ankle. Tell me if this hurts. Does this hurt?
Yes. Ow. Yes, that hurts.
And this?
A little less. Maybe a 4 out of 10.
Good. I'd like to send you for an X-ray just to rule out a fracture. After that, I'll explain your treatment options.
Could you please slow down a little? I'm not a native English speaker, and I want to make sure I understand everything.
Of course. No problem at all. I'll speak slowly and clearly. And after I explain the treatment, please ask me any questions you have. okay?
Thank you so much. And one more thing. If you give me any medication, could you tell me what the side effects are?
Absolutely. Good question. I'll write everything down for you as well.
Perfect. And scene.
That was wonderful, Oliver. You used every single phrase perfectly.
I did, didn't I? And I feel so much more confident now. I think even in a panic, those phrases would come back to me.
That's the whole goal. Okay, let's do our final recap of all 5 phrases.
Phrase 1.
I hurt my... To describe your injury, I hurt my ankle, I hurt my wrist. Simple and immediate.
Phrase 2.
I was doing something and I fell. To explain exactly how the accident happened. Context for the doctor.
Phrase 3.
It hurts when I... To describe what movements or actions cause pain. It hurts when I walk. It hurts when I bend it.
Phrase 4. My personal favorite.
Could you please slow down? I'm not a native English speaker. Never be embarrassed to say this. Your health comes first.
And phrase 5.
What are the side effects? Always ask this before taking any new medication. Know what to expect.
Beautiful. Emma, any final tips for our listeners who might find themselves in this situation while traveling?
A few quick ones. First, always carry your travel insurance card and a list of any medications you take regularly in English. Second, before a trip, learn the emergency number for the country you're visiting. In the USA, it's 911. In the UK, 999. In Japan, it's 119 for ambulance and fire. In most of Europe, 112 works everywhere.
And third, don't try to be brave and walk on an injured ankle. I tried that for about 10 steps and nearly cried in front of a group of school children.
Yes. Rest, ice, compression, and elevation. That's the RICE method the doctor mentioned. Rest the injury, apply ice, compress with a bandage, and elevate, meaning raise it above the level of your heart. That is the standard first aid for a sprain.
I know that now.
Better late than never. Thank you everyone so much for joining us today on Speak Beautiful English channel. We hope these phrases give you confidence, not just in medical situations, but in any challenging English moment.
And remember, making mistakes is just part of learning. I said I fall instead of I fell in an actual emergency room and lived to tell the tale.
You did. All right, everyone. If today's episode was useful, please share it with a friend who travels or is learning English. It might just help them in a tough moment.
Subscribe, like, leave us a comment. We love hearing from you on Speak Beautiful English channel. Until next time.
Stay safe on those hiking trails.
And keep learning. Bye, everyone.
Bye.